And we're back, and you're listening to Boss Up with Kia on powerandpraiseradio.com. Today I have with me Abram Ludd, and he's ready to talk to us about real estate in our terms, how we can understand it, so we can know when we come to him and say, hey Abram, tell me about some real estate. So, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am excited that you're here with us on the radio today to share some light about real estate. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, let's see. A little about myself. Well, I was born and raised here in Sumter.
Okay.
Sumter, South Carolina. I'm a graduate of Sumter High School, fighting Gamecocks. I also, after I finished high school, I went on to play a little bit of basketball over at Coker College over in Hartsville.
Mm-hmm.
So I finished there, got my degree in business administration. Then I came back to Sumter, moved back here to my hometown and started working. And then about 3.5, 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to try something different. And I decided I wanted to get into real estate. And I think that was one of the best decisions I probably made in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a different decision. You don't see a lot of people out there saying, I think I'm just starting in real estate.
Correct.
That's something different. So how has it been for you so far?
Oh man, it's been great. It gave me the opportunity to, meet a lot of new people, a lot of people I wouldn't necessarily cross paths with if it wasn't for real estate. Over the last 3.5, 4 years, I got a chance to, network with a bunch of people in the community, rub elbows, with some of, your local county and city councilmen and women, congressmen and women. So it's been great.
Sound like a little celebrity there in the making, just meeting people and things.
No. I also got to, interact with a bunch of the great Sumterites, I guess if you would say, throughout the city. Also, some of the great Air Force men and women over at Shaw.
Okay.
So it's been awesome.
That's great. I wish I would be like you when I grow up.
No, you don't want to do that. You want to take a step back.
You never know. So tell us about real estate. How does it work? Tell us some pros and cons about it. How you get started with it.
Well, as far as real estate goes, as a buyer, let's say for instance, you Kia, you want to purchase a home.
So into existence.
Yeah, so we're gonna speak it into existence. So say for instance, you're looking, you don't really know what you need to do. So you're like, man, I'm looking on Realtor.com, I'm looking on Zillow.com, looking at houses, trying to figure out what I need to do. And then, you're like, well, maybe I should try to get in touch with a real estate agent to help me, throughout the process. And that's when I come in.
Okay.
So basically, you would contact me and, we will meet up and, I can kind of go over the whole process with you. So I will break it down from the beginning until the end. I'll walk you through the whole process from, the point of getting pre-approved for a mortgage loan. Whenever I say that term, a lot of people get nervous and get scared. Like, oh Lord, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, my credit ain't no good. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of those people who think that their credit isn't good enough to get pre-approved for a mortgage loan, they actually are able to get pre-approved for a mortgage loan. So, so I kind of walk you through the whole process, and from there, we go, once you get pre-approved, we go look at houses, because you don't want to be looking at houses in a $200,000 price range when you can only afford an $80,000 house, right?
Okay, tell them again now, make sure they know.
So you want to, stay within your means, stay within your budget, and, definitely, try to do something that, that's feasible for you and your family.
Right.
So basically, once we, figure out what price range you're in, then, we will sit down and talk about, well, what kind of stuff, what kind of area of something would you want to live in? Also I would ask you, well, hey Kia, what area of something would you want to live in? How big of a house would you want? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What square footage? And some questions that you might not even think about, like what school district, would you want your kids to be in? Well, we only have one school district in Sumter, but what zone, as far as, if I want my kid to go to Bates, Alice Drive, or even Chestnut Oaks, or, Crestwood, Sumter High, that type stuff. So, once we go out and we pinpoint what area of something you want to be in, we go look at houses. So, then once we look at some houses, then, hopefully it's not 100 houses, but we try to limit it. That's why we want to kind of narrow it down to where you want to be at. So, we can look at some houses, and once you make your decision, then we go on to the next step, which is making an offer.
Okay.
So, once you make an offer, hopefully that contract gets accepted and on to the next phase. So I kind of just, guide you throughout the process, and, it's kind of like I'm a counselor, I'm a financial advisor, I'm somebody you can a shoulder you can cry on, somebody you can argue with, fuss at, that type of stuff. I give you good advice and try to, walk you throughout the whole process.
Wow, so I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of people's shoulders out there that, they come to cry on your shoulder a lot. I'm pretty sure you have like 10,000 questions a day and a million stories and a million why this and why that and what's this and what's that. So what are some of the pros and cons of real estate?
I would say some of the pros of real estate is definitely being able to be flexible with your time.
Okay.
Time is the biggest thing. I try to tell my clients, that's the most important thing to me. My time is money. My time is important. You don't want to have somebody out there wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, I'm being serious about it and spending my my time, my free time with you to help you, reach a dream or reach a goal that you, want to become a homeowner. So, I try to do my best to, be flexible with my time and also be respectful. And I just ask my clients to do the same. And, so far, they've all been, willing to be respectful of my time. And so I haven't had too many issues with that. But, also just, I guess some other pros of it is just, like I said, being able to meet people, being able to sell a lot of houses and, just go different places that you wouldn't necessarily go to and talk to people you wouldn't necessarily talk to. Some of the cons of it, there aren't many cons other than, sometimes when, most people working 9 to 5, they're getting off at 5 p.m., that's when my day usually starts,
Wow.
for the most part, because, I'm out at 5:30 to sometimes 8 or 9 at night.
Mm-hmm.
If it's, during the summer showing houses and writing up contracts, and also on the weekends, Saturdays are usually a day where, I devote a lot of time to going out and showing houses to clients and, writing up contracts. So, but, I don't even really look at that as a con because, I'm working. So,
Wow. Hey, you're working, that's all that matters. So it sounds like a lot, but that's what you're there for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that once people understand the process and how it works, it helps. It's beneficial to them to know that there's someone there that is an expert at what they know, and they're willing to help you through the whole process. Now, earlier you mentioned about credit, that dreadful word that everybody runs from. Now listen, stay tuned. Y'all can still listen. It's okay. Credit ain't gonna hurt you. So let's find out some things about credit. What's the importance of credit during this process?
Oh man, that is the important thing. You gotta have good credit. I mean, you don't have to have perfect credit. Some people think they have to have perfect credit in order to get pre-approved for a mortgage loan, and that's necessarily not the case. Not the case, but you want to have good enough credit to where you can get pre-approved for a mortgage loan. So I typically tell people, if your credit score, some mortgage companies might pre-approve you with a credit score as low as 580, but typically to be on the safe side, you want to be 620 or higher. And some other people, people think, oh man, well my credit's bad. I'm below 500 or I'm below a 550. I can't get it up. I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna rent. And I'm like, nah, don't do that. Just instead of doing that, how about you just find out what's on your credit score that's causing your credit score to be low.
Right.
And also, you can go and contact some of those companies and dispute those claims, or if you have something that's in collections, go ahead and set up a payment plan to pay it off, or even pay it off, because once you do that, your credit score is going to increase. So, some people think it's a 2-year process or a 3-year process, but honestly, you can probably improve your credit score within, less than 6 months if you really stick to it. So,
That is true, because I've tried that last year.
Okay.
Started working on my credit, and it took less than 6 months to get it up. And
Okay.
I'm proud.
What?
I am proud. So I'll be contacting you soon about getting me a house.
Let's
Come
go
on
let's
now.
go get this house.
Okay,
Let's go get it, huh?
So you can't be scared to run from credit. Going up there and check your credit. CreditKarma.com is free. It's simple. Just pull the paperwork.
Yeah, I know. I think some people, they're afraid to look at their credit score,
Yes.
and you can't be that way. You got to want to look at your credit and keep an eye on it, because you never know. You can be a victim of identity theft, and then you're thinking you got great credit, and then all of a sudden you go to try to buy a new car or buy open up a new credit card, and you get declined because your credit scores drop so low. So definitely, I encourage everybody to look at their credit score, keep track of it. You get two free credit reports per year. So, definitely look at it and stay on top of that because, everybody loves credit, but everybody loves cash, but credit, I feel like, is more important than cash.
They say credit will take you a long ways.
Oh, yes, indeed.
A long ways. So, is it necessary for your credit to be good before you start the process, before we even try to come to you and say, hey, I want a house?
What do you consider good?
I don't know.
Good as in if you know what your credit score is. Do you know what your credit score would be? So, it just depends. Like, I tell people, like, hey, let's see what your credit score is. Let's find out what's on your credit report starting out. Because if you are, like, somewhere around the 600 credit score and you might only have one or two things past due, go ahead. We can start looking at, the process, and I can get you in touch with a mortgage lender, and they can actually tell you exactly what you need to pay on your, what bill you need to pay off in order to improve your credit score to get the house you want. And then that way, if it's something you can do within 30 days and pay it off, within 45 days, you're out looking for a house, and, within 2 months, you're moving into a brand new home.
Wow. I hope you guys are listening because this is some great information that you don't get to hear all the time, but just to know this now while it's still early and you have time to get it together. Come on, who wouldn't want to go check their credit score and go get them a house this year? I know I'm being in the mix, so I'll be coming to you soon.
Okay.
So tell me, what are the benefits of purchasing a home versus renting? I know a lot of people say, well, I can just rent a home. It's the same amount. Why not just rent?
You know what? It's crazy that you said that because a lot of people do think that way, and it's not really the case. I know some people also they get afraid because they think, oh man, I'm buying a house, I got more responsibility.
Right.
I can just rent it. If something breaks at the house, I don't have to worry about getting it repaired. I can just call my landlord, and my landlord can repair it. And I'll just pay that $850 a month for this 3-bedroom, 1-bath house with 1,100 square feet. And they think that's fine, but really that's really not the case. There are so many more benefits from buying there are so many more benefits in relation to buying as far as from renting because think about it. If you're buying a house, number one, you get a tax break. So that's great. At the end of the year, you get you can use that for your taxes. Number two, 9 times out of 10, whenever you purchase a house, you're gonna probably end up paying a little bit less than you would pay in rent, and that's including your insurance, your property taxes, and all combined in the escrow. A lot of people don't realize that, but honestly, I was just speaking with an individual recently, and they were telling me how their monthly rent was going up about $100. So they were end up paying about $800 or $900 for a house that if they were purchasing that house, their monthly mortgage would probably be about $650.
Wow.
So you think about the extra money you can save. It can go towards utilities. You can save it and take your kids out or go on a nice vacation. You can do other things with that extra money, or just save it in your bank, put it in your bank account, and save it. Wow. But I think everybody should want to be able to purchase property and own property because that's the basis of all wealth. When you own land or own a house, that's something you can pass on to your kids, to your grandkids.
Yes.
You don't want to leave your grandkids or your kids just a pair of J's when you're gone. So you want to be able to leave something that's worth that's going to hold value. And definitely I've never seen any land lose value. So we as people need to keep that in mind and just really, kind of hunker down and try to focus on buying as opposed to renting. Which, I'm not opposed to renting. If that's something you feel that's feasible for you in the time being, if you're not going to be in the area for only maybe a year or so, then yeah, I would recommend renting. But if you're going to be living in Sumter for the next 3 to 5 years, why not go ahead and buy a house? And even if you decide to move before then, you can always rent that thing out, and then you can still make some money off of it. So it's an investment property.
Investments, that's a strong word that a lot of people still run from, investing. And one of the things I try to teach my clients or help them understand that it's very important to invest in yourself. So why not take what you have and invest in a house?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
That's
your
correct.
own. Something you can go home and say, "This is mine."
That's correct.
This
That's
is my
correct.
house.
I know.
Y'all can leave or y'all can stay, whatever. But this is my house. This belongs to me. So that is awesome. So a part of the process with purchasing a home that includes the value of property and land. Is all of that included in it?
Yes. Yes. So so the land and the property, the land and the house are all tied into one. There are certain cases where that might not be the case, and that's if you got like a mobile home. So say for instance, if there's a mobile home and it's not detitled and tied in with the land, then you will have your land will be separate from the mobile home. But not 9 times out of 10, your mobile home is going to be tied in with the land, and so will your other property.
Okay. So with that being said, tax season is here. Tax season, the wonderful tax season. It's like a holiday for the next 3 months. It's just tax season. Everybody's excited from January, February, March, and April. Now, I don't know about April because a lot of times, that's when the money is due. But between January and February, I'm pretty sure the stores are excited because of this season. So tell us, how should we prepare for this tax season?
Well, I mean, I can't tell anybody how to spend their money, because when that tax season comes, people come and they start, that money starts getting, burning their hands up.
Mm-hmm.
They want to, just go out and spend and buy a whole bunch of stuff. They want to get a new car.
Mm-hmm.
They've had their eyes on a new car. They've had their eyes on some furniture. They want to go spend it on that, which is fine. That's what you choose to do because that's your money.
Mm-hmm.
You worked hard for it. But if you're really serious about wanting to buy a house, and you've been really saving and wanting to do something, that tax money, the extra tax money, could be something that you could use to either save it for a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
With the FHA loans, they require 3.5% down. So with that being said, if you purchased a $100,000 house, you would have to pay about $3,500 as a down payment.
Okay.
So, that could be a little bit of tax money you save to the side, you put to the side for that. Also, with a conventional loan, they usually require about 3% down.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put some money to the side, $3,000 down for a $100,000 house as a down payment. So that's something, I would recommend people, start to think about. Like I said, I know you want to spend your money and do it, like I said, do whatever you want to do with it because you worked all year for it. Mm-hmm. And you deserve it. And also, if your credit's not good and you got some stuff on your credit report that you want to get taken off, maybe take some of the extra tax money. You don't have to spend all of it, but take some of it and pay it towards some of those bills that are in collections.
Right.
Pay those things down, and once you pay those down, then you'll be in a situation to purchase a house maybe come July or August, or June, so you don't want to be in a situation where you went ahead and spent about $4,000 on that 83 Cutlass, and then then you getting those eviction papers, back in July, down in July, you're like, man, I should have took that money and bought me a house. So you don't want to be in that situation, But like I said, I can't tell you how to spend your money, but I can only give you good advice.
Well, that is some awesome advice. So I know with the tax season being started, and it is good for us to be able to change our mindset to shift. Mm-hmm. So we can start thinking about investing, start thinking about these things that are important for the future, because you never know until you get in that situation, and you don't want to be like, man, I should have, I could have, I would have, but I didn't.
Yes.
So what would you say would be kind of a good age to start thinking about investing in real estate?
Ooh, I mean, I would think you're never too young to think about investing in real estate, to be honest with you. The younger you do it, you set yourself up long term, to be in a situation where, you could maybe even retire earlier. You could be in a situation where the money you get from your investments are enough to cover your lifestyle, your living, your living costs or your living expenses. So, I really wouldn't put an age limit on a kid. I really would say, hey, if you are 19, 21 years old and you're working hard and you see something, you riding around and you see a property, you see some land that, is listed for $3,000 and you know that you got the money to go ahead and buy. If you got $2,000, go ahead and pay that $2,000, purchase that land, find you a little mobile home, put on that land, and rent it out. That's an investment property, you know, because even though we talking about buying, purchasing homes, the fact of the matter is everybody's not going to be able to afford to purchase a house, so there are going to be people who want to just be renters, and that's fine.
Right.
So, but if you're in a situation to where that you don't have to be a renter, you can purchase something and own and invest. Why not go for it?
Why not go for it?
That's extra money. It's residual income, right?
Right.
So.
Wow. So, are there workshops and classes and study items out there that we can invest in?
Workshops. As far as workshops, I do know that there is a NACA workshop coming up this Saturday in Sumter. I just found out.